most of y'all are playing hide and go seek with your clients. You're like, how come I don't have any clients? Meanwhile, you're like hiding in the corner, wondering why you don't have any clients. If the thing you need to do to be seen over and over again is put yourself out there on the internet, then if you can make it fun and not stress about it and actually look forward to it, then you're going to do it again. You're going to do it more often. It becomes easier. And so we've attached the thing that we need to do to make more money to the thing that we enjoy doing. Boom. That's like the recipe for making money and honestly being happy and fulfilled in life. One of the most important parts of marketing for any kind of business, also one of the most difficult things to do, is to listen for the words that your clients use on a regular basis and then use that in your marketing. So if you're listening for what clients say, they don't know, they want to get a tattoo, but they don't know what they want to get, or they fear intimidating tattoo artists, right? Sometimes they're worried that they're going to meet with an asshole. These are the types of things that people are concerned with. I hear tattoo artists often say that the thing they struggle with the most when it comes to marketing, particularly when it comes to social media, is that they have a fear of being seen. That if they put something out there, it might be judged or taken out of context, and the what ifs, not only are there the potential for comments to happen that might be from trolls or haters or people just, talking shit as they do on the internet. But then there's also the ones you don't know about. The people, the tattoo artist in the studio in the middle of bumfuck nowhere or on the other side of the planet, having some opinion about you that you don't even know. And it just kind of feels uncomfortable. And I definitely struggled with that a lot myself when I started making content in 2020, especially because I was making financial content for tattooers, and I knew that I was going to be seen and I was going to be perceived, and that it probably wouldn't always be what I wanted that perception of me to be. I had someone message me. They had taken my Booked in 48 workshop and they posted their intro reel, and they said, I now know what it feels like to give birth to a cactus. And time again, I see tattooers, they hesitate for months or years before they do the thing that is just you showing up, talking authentically and genuinely with your clients. So we're going to talk about authenticity today, because that is a kitschy catchphrase that gets thrown around, and just be authentic. I don't think it works that way. And I want to share what my take is on how to find authenticity, how to be more authentic in your content, and maybe even in life in general. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today. If you're someone that struggles with the fear of being seen, I think this episode is going to give you a lot of perspectives and maybe even some practices that you can use to get over that hump and get out there and seen. So it's also really interesting that tattoo artists as a whole are sort of this community, this group of people that kind of don't give a fuck about what people think of them. That's why we cover ourselves in tattoos. It is to spit in the face of judgment. It's like, yeah, whatever, think whatever the fuck you want about me. But then there's this whole other thing that arises when making content. And I've noticed that some of the tattooers, quite a few actually, that I've worked with, they'll say that they don't have a fear of being seen, but I can kind of pick up on that there is some hesitation. It's often like hiding in the subconscious. Like it's not something we're consciously even aware of. And we think that, oh yeah, I don't care what anyone, has to say or their opinions of me. But then if you were to create something that someone were to have an opinion about, suddenly you care. And so I invite the listener, you, to just assume that I, at some level, care what you think about. Of course I do. And of course you do. We all have that. We're all human beings. And it actually goes way back to like the way we evolved, that being a part of the community meant survival. And that if we were to be dejected from or someone's opinion of us, we didn't belong, that could mean death. And so this is hardwired into our nervous system that, oh man, if someone somewhere doesn't like me, except we're not dealing in small tribes now, we're dealing with global billions of people the potential, I don't know, your content's probably not going to get 1 billion views, but even 1,000 views, right? 10,000, 100,000 views, it feels kind of weird to just think that, oh man, well, I could say this thing. And some of it's just really simple. You're just talking about yourself and your work and, why you love tattooing and what your knowledge base is, your experience, your stories. That's all. There's nothing weird about that. But it's the fact that I think, first of all, short form content, I almost find harder to deal with that fear than this long form content, because it's so easy to take it out of context. People can quickly share a clip or something like that, where this, you actually have to consume it. You're probably not here watching this to deeply judge me. And so it almost feels safer for me in this space, because I know that I'm probably talking to people that are interested in my body of work, that have gained value from it, and they're looking for more. And then I feel more free to just be my authentic self. It's a lot harder to do that in short form content. It's also a lot harder to be authentic when we feel like we have to put on this performance. And so let's talk about that for a second, because when it comes to especially short form content, but even I was just recording, my wife is also, we're building another coaching business. She's working with women in transitional periods in their lives, whether that's divorce or kids or jobs. And she's making content, and we had to re-record short pieces of a longer piece. And that, for some reason, that was so much more difficult than her just getting it out, because like drawing, you can kind of hit this flow state where just all of a sudden you're tapped in, and whenever you're drawing, whatever's coming out, it feels right. It's hitting right. It's clicking. And with short form content, it's a lot harder to do that. And so what I often tell people to do, if you're struggling with short form, if you're just like, you're hitting record and then you're hitting it again, and then you're hitting it again, and you're hitting it again, trying to get that perfect 3-second hook or 30-second body, stop doing that. Just hit record and just talk to the camera for 5 or 10 minutes to just get it out. Just knowing, just let the stumbles and the fumbles and the weird words come out, and just know, like, I'm not going to post any of this. I had a client actually take a compilation of all the stumbles and the fumbles, and he made actually a really great piece of content about it that kind of almost built more trust, because it was honest, it was authentic. It wasn't him trying to show the highlights reel. It was like, look, I'm a human being, I'm flawed, and I'm messing the fuck out of this, and this is for you to share, to relate to, because whether you're a tattoo artist or a small business owner, or maybe you're just someone that is excited about something that you want to share through social media, we can all relate, all of us. My phone is filled with stuff that I'm never going to post, right? And so by letting go of needing to nail it in a certain period of time and say it in just the right way, you can tap into that free-flowing state that you would tap into whether you were drawing or sculpting. I've worked in many artistic mediums, and it's always the same. It's never the first 5 or 10 or even 20 minutes sometimes of working on a piece of art, recording a piece of content, that I nail it. And so by giving yourself a little bit more room, a little more runway, it's like you're trying to get the plane to take off without any runway. Just let it roll for a while. Pick up some speed, pick up some momentum, and then you'll capture those moments where you are being your, let's call it, more authentic self. Because that's the fear is that people are like, ooh, I recorded it and I look stiff and I look awkward and weird. And the truth is, that's going to happen all the time in the beginning. You can't avoid that. It's through repetition that you're going to get better at it. And so you can't get the reps in you need to go smoothly until you post 10, 20, sometimes 100 reels. I heard someone once say your first 100 reels, your first 100 times getting on camera and doing short form content is just you learning how to talk on camera. And it really is a learning process. So if you've been holding off, like if you scroll through social media and you know that most social media content these days is either a person talking to the screen or a picture with words on it, and you haven't been doing either one of those, you're just posting pictures of tattoos and you're not actually saying anything to anyone. And you're like, oh, I don't know what to say. Well, one, have you sat down for 20 to 30 minutes to start writing out ideas of what to say? And two, that might be too much overthinking. You might need to just turn on the camera and talk. You might not even post it. And in fact, that was one of the things that helped me the most get comfortable with recording content that I felt comfortable posting out into the world. Was I made content that I never posted. I was told to have fun with it. So I saw someone mention putting your camera in your kitchen and recording yourself frying some eggs and pretend you're on a cooking show and just talk for fun. I swear, you've probably maybe even heard me talk about this in other episodes. I say it a lot because I swear it helped free me. I was like, oh, I'm like not stiff. I'm like not taking this shit so fucking seriously. And it's just like tattooing, right? If you take it too fucking seriously, you end up being stiff. You end up creating performative art that you're like, is someone going to buy this versus is this truly what my soul wants to express in this art form? So stop taking it seriously. Let yourself talk to the camera. If you need to, record some content that you're never going to post just to practice getting in front of the camera. And then there's the moment you've got the content. I've heard this so many times. They're like, I recorded it and I have it. I have 3 versions of it. They're sitting in my phone and I just can't hit post. And if anyone here is relating to that, that's a nervous system response, right? There's nothing outside of your body that's physically stopping you from hitting the button and posting that content. That is purely your nervous system experiencing the fear of being seen. That's what that tangibly looks like. So the way you work through that is you teach your nervous system that this is a safe thing to do, that this is okay for you to do. And the only way to do that is to hit post on that first one. And that first one's the hardest one. And the second one's not much easier, maybe a little bit. And the third one, well, it gets a little bit easier now. And I'm telling you, because I've seen this transformation happen hundreds of times with tattooers I've worked with over months where they hated making content. They absolutely hated the idea, not even of posting it or of content, just recording their image. Even taking a selfie felt fake. It felt inauthentic. And it was cringe for them. 4 months later, they genuinely enjoy. They have fun. They look forward to making content. And if doing the thing that you need to do in order to attract, be seen, and attract more clients, because most of y'all are playing hide and go seek with your clients. You're like, how come I don't have any clients? Meanwhile, you're like hiding in the corner, wondering why you don't have any clients. If the thing you need to do to be seen over and over again is put yourself out there on the internet, then if you can make it fun and not stress about it and actually look forward to it, then you're going to do it again. You're going to do it more often. It becomes easier. And so we've attached the thing that we need to do to make more money to the thing that we enjoy doing. Boom. That's like the recipe for making money and honestly being happy and fulfilled in life. I genuinely enjoy making content. Now, are there times that I don't feel like making content? Absolutely. There's times I don't feel like drawing. There's times you don't feel like tattooing and you wake up in the morning and you do it anyway, right? Same thing goes for content. There are times where I make content because I don't necessarily feel like it. So that becomes easier to do. Again, once we get through those first few hurdles, keep it simple in the beginning. Keep it just condensed to, what is easy for you to share. You don't have to get out and express some opinion that might get misconstrued in some way. It might feel like giving birth to a cactus, and that's okay. Just let yourself give birth. The second one ain't as hard as the first one. Get opened up a little bit, So that's the practice there. Now let's talk about authenticity, because I think the other part of this is maybe people don't necessarily identify that they have a fear of being seen, but they don't want to put something out there that feels authentic, and they don't want that being seen. Now, I know we're talking a lot about mindset on this episode when it comes to content, because without that mindset, the 90%, the 10% strategy, we're never going to get there. But if you're still feeling like you don't know what you should post, how you should post, and what is the purpose of each post, and how do we stack those bricks and build the marketing strategy that attracts local clients, gets them to actually know you, and ultimately gets them to book tattoos, that's what I'm going to be covering later this month at the full Tattoo Forever System live workshop. I'm going to be covering an entire content system, one that actually attracts local followers so you can actually tattoo them, builds trust with them, gets them to know you, and then ultimately, how do we offer tattoos in a way that doesn't feel salesy or pushy? I'm going to be showing you the frameworks, the exact words that I use, the videos, the carousels. I'm going to give you all the templates that you need, plus how to run that content as an ad so that you can focus it on the very specific people that can and want to work with you. And if you're interested in getting all of that, you can just check out the link below and get all the details. I do want to share with you real quick, this isn't just some theory. Tattooers have been using this for the past 3 years. And I actually had a client who I worked with maybe almost a year ago. He just DM'd me. It's February right now. His name's Coltron Tattoos on Instagram. If you want to check out his Instagram, great tattooer. He said, hey man, I just wanted to tell you that everything has been going so well. January has been my best month ever. I made over 20 grand this month. I'm booked heavy a month in advance. Thank you for everything that you provide to the community. You're awesome, man. That's the kind of DMs that I want to see from everyone now. Look, everyone's going to get a different result. Your results are going to be based on your experience, your location, your time and effort that you put into this, but it is a path that you can follow to ultimately book more tattoos. And if you want to find out what that looks like or just get the details, just hit the link in the caption below, check it out, and I hope to see you there. Now, back to this episode. Authenticity is a magnet, okay? When you see something that is authentic, you have a strong response to it, more often than not. Maybe there are things that are authentic that don't do that for you, but either you are pulled towards it, you're like, oh, that's fucking killer. So I think this is a great example of authenticity. I don't know if you're a fan of folk music, but there's this folk singer, Jesse Wells. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. He was recently on the Stephen Colbert Show, and I actually been following him for maybe about a year. And when I first came across his content, like it really stood out. He was just being honest. He's being himself. And I remember there's almost this like censor. It's like, is this person being authentic? Are they really this real, or are they full of shit? Like it's like the bullshit censor. And I was just like, no, this guy, he seems like he's like straight out of like the 60s or 70s. Like he's tapped into this authentic spirit of folk music. It is so honest and true and real. And I guarantee you, he didn't just find that one day instantaneously and like forevermore he was that. No, he had to discover that authenticity and practice it over and over and over again. And through my own practice, through tattooing, through making content, I've definitely done tattoos that did not feel like my most authentic expression. Like they were good. I was happy the client was satisfied, but I didn't feel like I knocked it out of the park and like I kind of just did the job. You know, I did it good. And then there were other tattoos where I'm like, where the fuck did this tattoo come from? I don't even know how I was capable. It was like I was channeling something else through me, and that's authenticity. And so there's another really great story. I know I'm making these music references, but I think too with music, there's just something that it's either authentic or it's not. You know, that's what I love about tattooing. Like it's either fucking good or it's not. And I'm also a big Tom Waits fan. And there was an interview with him where he was talking about this time he was driving a car and he had this little tune in his head. And he was like, you know, I can't stop or pull over to write this down. And he just said out loud, he's like, listen, song, okay, if you want to get made, you're just going to have to come back later, okay? That I can't do anything with you right now. So I'm just going to trust, right? He's just trusting that if this song's going to happen, it's going to. And now Tom Waits is someone that people either love him or they hate him, but you can't deny the fact that this dude is being wildly authentic. He's been doing it for years, right? If someone did that for a short period of time and then they went on and they did this whole other thing, you'd be like, well, maybe that was an inauthentic expression. But when they do it over and over, I've been making content about business for tattoo artists since 2020. That's 6 years. Like that blows my fucking mind that is even real, right? If this wasn't an authentic passion of mine to see tattoo artists saving, making, empowered, stable, building futures for themselves that light them the fuck up and not have to give over to that old victim, woe is me mentality, fight the system, which really just has the system fucking step all over you because you don't learn the tools that you could use to keep yourself from drowning when it comes to finances. I don't know, I'm getting on a thing here, but I'm excited by seeing tattoo artists take the reins in their lives around their finances and their businesses and gain control of their future and be the captain of their own ship, the master of their fate, the captain of their ship. That quote from that poem, that's what lights me up authentically. Now, are there people out there that might look at my content and think, oh, well, this guy's probably full of shit? Yeah. And maybe they have for years. I don't know. But there's also a lot of people that get me. And that's why I've been doing this podcast for so long. So I'm assuming if you're here, you get me now. Do I always feel like everything that I have to share is authentic? Do I always look at my content and be like, yeah, I'm just pumping out bangers all day long? No, I recoil. I feel all types of ways about my content sometimes, but I do it anyway. And in that, I don't think it's either authentic or it's not. I think that content, there are elements of authenticity that come out, sometimes more than others. And just like in tattooing, when I, didn't always feel like my art was the perfect, authentic expression of who I am, I feel the same way about content, and I do it over and over again. And that authenticity actually comes through in the body of work. And I think the greatest artists of all time, you see it in the body of work. And sure, you could point to one or two or 10 or hundreds of pieces and be like, wow, this is just pure, wet, dripping authenticity, hot off the press all the time. But you didn't see the years and the drafts and the sketches and the versions that they threw out. With social media, you kind of have to learn in public a little bit, because that's where a lot of the learning takes place. And looking at the data and the stats and saying, oh, wow, I nailed this one and I didn't nail that one. And, sometimes you try really hard on something that you're really proud of and it doesn't go anywhere or do anything. And in fact, I think you should do more of that. Hear me out. I had a client that was telling me she felt really burnt out with content. She just felt like, I'm doing it, I'm following the process, and I've kind of got the system down, and I see it's working, but I'm like not enjoying it. And I was like, well, that's a problem. I don't want to teach you how to make content and have you be fucking miserable. And so we talked about it a little bit, and I said, well, where do you feel stuck? She's like, yeah, I just feel like I'm doing this thing for this purpose all the time, and I'm just not inspired by it. And I was like, well, what if you did something without the purpose? What if you took try to get more clients, try to get more views or engagement, take that out, and what would you want to say to people that may be seeing it and maybe not? But if you could have a message that you could broadcast to the world, whether people cared or not, you have to remove all that expectation. What would you want to talk about? And she started to open up a little bit. I could see that, like, the light in her start shining a little more. She's like, well, I think that I think I'm an inspiring person. And it was like, it came out, and I was like, you are an inspiring person. I see that you're an inspiring person. I'm only going to talk to you like you are the inspiring person that I know you to be. But you haven't created the body of work. Now, you could know that you don't need a body of work to know that about yourself. But in that stage where it's like that threshold between like who you know you are and building the evidence outside that shows this is who you are, we can sometimes doubt ourselves and feel that imposter syndrome and all that stuff. It's like, oh, what's really true or exciting? I don't have any. No, why would anyone care about anything that I have to say? Let all that stuff, just park it on the side. Be like, listen, thanks for sharing. I get it, all the doubts and fears. And again, just talk. And so I asked, and she was like, well, you know what? I haven't done, she had an assignment to talk about how she got into tattooing, because again, that's one of the questions that clients ask you all the time, right? So that would be a great piece of content for any tattoo artist to make, to talk about that story. And I gave her a template and a structure and a format and hooks and all the stuff, but she just was resistant. I was like, well, what if you just threw all the fucking templates that I gave you that you paid money for, throw it all out the window and just fucking talk to the camera? A lot of the time I tell people, I'm like, look, we're going to go through this process, and the tools and the frameworks and all that stuff, it's all training wheels. Eventually you're going to throw all that stuff out the window, right? It's just there to help give a stepping stone to find that authentic expression. But by the end of this, you're not going to use any templates or any things. You're just going to know and find that authentic voice. And so in order for her to find her authentic voice when it came to content that's going to resonate with the right people and push away other people are going to be like, who the fuck is this? What does she think she is? Just tell people how you got into tattooing. And it was a really interesting story. And that's what I left her with. And she was excited about it. And I think that was the main difference, the turnaround in that coaching session was like, I want you to leave feeling excited about making content. I want you to leave this podcast episode excited to share something, knowing that it's not the last thing. It's not going to be the perfect thing, but it will be one brick that you're putting into your marketing wall, the structure, the business that you're building, the life that you're building. And if you feel like getting seen more would help you build that life, would help you get more clients, you don't have to figure out all of the deeper strategies to help you do that. Like the strategy is helpful, but honestly, mindset is the most important part of all this. And getting past those blocks is what's going to help you build a habit where you actually enjoy doing it, you have fun doing it. And it's when you hit that stride, and sometimes you might have to make some messy stuff that you don't like, but then you find it. And that's the piece that resonates most with people. I often find that tattooers will tell me that there was a piece of content where I said this one thing that they really liked or really stuck with them. And I'm like, that got like no engagement. Like you were one of the fucking 800 people that saw that. And for you, maybe 800 seems like a lot, right? I'm not here to compare. That was just, not here to brag, okay? But for me, 800 views is very low. And so I was always fascinated by that because I felt like I would post content knowing ahead of time that it wasn't going to get all rained with validation and likes and money. It was going to go deep. It wasn't going to go broad. It was going to go deep with a few people. And that's why I shared it, because it was something I was excited to say and talk about. And I think you should be making more content like that, because then it makes it easier to make the thing. It's like, okay, I want to make this particular offer for this tattoo project that I want to do, or, I want to attract more local followers, or I want to build trust. And, I know somewhere in this podcast episode, there's probably a commercial for a workshop that I'm leading. If you want to know more about that, you can always hit the link below. But that's what I do, is I give people a structure to follow. And then once you learn it, you can throw all the structure out. You don't need it anymore because you've ingrained the lessons. Just like learning to tattoo. In the beginning, you're thinking about, okay, I need to hold my machine like this, at this angle. I need to pull at this speed. I need to stretch the skin like this. I need to make sure I don't wipe off my stencil. I need to make sure that I have ointment on the skin. I need to make sure there's not too much ink. Is it going to spit? You're thinking about all this stuff. And then once you learn to tattoo, you're not thinking about any of that stuff. You're just being present with the art that you're creating. And so that's why I do the work that I do. That's why I make the podcast and the free content, and I've worked with tattooers all over the world. So I hope that this helps you. If you take one thing away from this episode and you never watch another episode, or we never meet again, it is to teach your nervous system to get comfortable with hitting post, being seen, because then you build the evidence that you can do it and you will be safe. And once you have the evidence, then you will feel the confidence in making content. But if we never post, if we never put that first one, that second one, that 10th one, and build the body of evidence that you are okay, that in fact, clients like this stuff and they want to see more of you and they're excited by it and they're resonating with it and it's booking you tattoos. If you never build that evidence, then you will never have the confidence that you need in order to do it consistently enough for it to really work. So it's a chicken or the egg thing, but in this case, you have to take the step with fear, without the confidence, to teach yourself, especially your nervous system, what you need in order to feel confident with that. So with that, get out there, go make something messy. And one last tip. All the time, I'll have clients tell me, Ryan, I did this thing and I made it and I'm feeling stuck. And I say, okay, go and make some bad content. Go make something bad. If you can't make something you feel excited about or you feel good about or whatever, go make some bad content and come back to me. And I swear to God, it better not be fucking good, because I'll fucking come out there, okay? Don't make me fucking come and get you. Better be the worst fucking content in the world. And they laugh and they're like, all of a sudden they just like drop the fucking seriousness around it. And it's just like realizing like, oh, I'm putting this pressure on myself to make something this one time that's going to be one of hundreds, maybe even thousands of pieces of content that I make over the course of my career. And I know some people are like, oh my God, Ryan, don't fucking tell me that. That's what I'm going to have to do. What I'm telling you is that by the time you learn to do this, you won't have to. You won't have to dodge bullets. It will just be who you enjoy being. You will look forward to it. Go check out Chris Cockadoodle on Instagram. He's 20+ year tattooer that makes amazing content. Sierra Holmes is another tattooer I've worked with. She totally resisted the idea of putting herself on the internet. She just posted something the other day about the history of tattooing, and this girl was having fun making it. It was educational. It was informative. Her personality was coming out, and I'll share some little clips of that here on the podcast. But go and stop giving a fuck and get out there and be seen. So on that note, I hope to see you next time. And again, I do hope to see some of you at the Tattoo Forever System workshop. Details are below. I will see you there. Thanks again for listening. The Artful Dollar Podcast. Take care. All right. If you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support. So I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.